We here.
Are we on? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, we good.
What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games B.S, part of their media group, presented by MFTKFoundation.com. MFTKFoundation.com is the go-to website for all things MFTK related. We'll get into a lot of those things on the intro of the show. On the road, Clearwater Beach, doing some things down this way. Got some good content coming your way, some co-collabs. I got up with my guy Freddie Stevenson yesterday, so I did the struggles to triumph, or the trials, the triumph podcast. Talked with some business, talked some cool things, man. Love what Freddie has going on in that space, and it's very, very good. So, guys, over the coming weeks, right now he got to get all that Dalvin Cook goodness up out of that situation, man, because I ain't Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's a lot more important than me, and I ain't mad at Frederick for that. It was good stuff, man. Today, make sure you guys check out Stolen Streams. I will be streaming the Reigns versus Sarasota Booker high school game up in Duval. I'll make sure that's on the channel. Guys, check that out so you can support Itchy Bam and those guys. TJ Cole's been on the show before. Really good kid. Reigns alumni are different, but it's still a really good program. And at the end of the day, it's about the Jits for me, and I think those guys are going to do good. So those are some of the announcements. Starbucks has kind of pissed me off. So I finally did get my nitro cold brew, but we will we'll delve into some of those things a little bit later. We're gonna start our show off the same way we start our show off each and every day. Oh, actually, too. Right now, we are 47 subs away from that good goal. Actually, 46 subs away now from that good goal. So, like, if you're watching this on the Twitter, if you're watching this on YouTube and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. While you're at it, consider becoming a member. Members, we will give away $500 once we get to that 7,000 mark, and then we'll give away $200 to a member as well. So you can technically hit twice. Membership starts at $3.99, goes all the way up to all-in membership. We'll start heavily pubbing those again here soon as we get our Discord built up, and we do some different things. Real quick, Miles, when do you think we should start? Slow launching or cold launching the Discord.
We can go and start one if you want this weekend. What I'd like to do is just start on a day where you can watch a movie with us. So we can all start with a movie or some film breakdown, whichever one you would like to do. And that way, when we do start it, we'll have a little bit of an event to pop it off with.
All right, let's
So the movies I was thinking, there's Him is the only football movie that's recent right now, and it was all right. But as we delve into other genres, I got lists and lists of great movies.
Let's talk with the colors right now. What do y'all think we should do? Should we do film breakdown? Should we watch a game? Should we check out a movie? What should we do to launch the Discord? Your opinions are warranted as we get into this, and what are some things that you would like to see in a Discord as well. Obviously, it would be the same stuff that basically being a member. If you're colored on YouTube, we'll make sure you get some of the cool perks that you would get on the Discord. The Discord would also serve its purpose as well, and vice versa. So that's kind of where we will try to keep a track of that, because there's all kinds
of people donating you film too. Maybe we can break down some of the people who send you film on their kids and stuff like that. Maybe that can be a way we do it.
A lot of people are saying film breakdown right now, so we can. I know it's film. I don't want to break down. You know what? We should do. I can't watch the Florida game right now. I think the FSU stuff is too close. what kind of film breakdown should I do? I don't know. What film breakdown would be kind of cool. Maybe we could talk about that. Finding a good time for everybody to be able to get into those different things. So we'll get into those things here shortly. A lot of traveling, a lot of stuff coming up. So it's about finding time. Well, luckily my Friday. Well, kind of my Fridays are free now because I ain't got a coach, but I got more time during the day. But we'll figure those things out. Because what is it? The video is it still only 20 people in the Discord?
No, we can have more. I've had more than 20. Sometimes you have to make a different type of room, but yeah, we can do that. You can maybe the Jags games even. We can watch it
Mm.
with you. I should be able to if we have
I
it.
do have the all
Stream.
22
Okay,
pass.
then we can stream the Jags game and keep it on the low. Talk about it.
Yeah, we'll do that. Let's try to get it launched this weekend, and then what we could do is, I think all 22 gets you have it available to you on Monday.
Okay.
Well, mm, Mondays are crazy. We'll figure that shit out. We'll figure that out. All right, but next week we'll put the Discord in there, and then we'll do a big event, a big Discord event where we're watching Jags film and we're doing some
Okay.
breakdowns and some stuff like that. So. Cool on that. But outside of that, let's go ahead and get our show started the same way we start every show with a word of prayer.
You already know what time it is, dog. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God. God is great. All the time. All the time. Nobody wanna thank you, God. Thank you, God. Go.
You heard that, man. He said you motherfuckers better thank God. But nah, we all right, Jaden. Give us the rundown of where we're gonna go and the direction of the show for the next for these next couple minutes.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Big Games B.S. here on Friday, December 5th. This is your first time at the show. Welcome. And if you wonder why it's called Big Games B.S., it's because we bring the good, the bad, and the B.S. of the sports world, especially football, to your screens, eyes, and ears. Going to start off with some MFTK news for you guys. Then we're going to transition into some college football talk. A lot of coaches have been on the move and in the media lately, so we're going to take a stab at that while also looking at the Heisman and college football championship odds before looking at some games and going on to Hard Rock app and putting a parlay down. Before getting into the NFL section, started with the Jaguars and NIL topic to touch on before getting into the Thursday night football game that occurred between the Cowboys and Lions last night. Then we got some players and also some games of view. And then Hard Rock as well before getting to the Big Games BS section where we bring the scope of the conversation outside of the typical football world. We have our BS or Bustin' Food review topic. And then we have a YN Wyland, YC Wyland segment for today to finish off the show. But first things first, we got this MFTK showcase to pub and for you guys to be made aware of right here.
Yeah, definitely. Got my guys, my YNs coming out, or my YCs in there. We got the we have Knox. We have we should have a couple hundred. I think it's going to be a couple hundred kids that are going to come show up to our first our inaugural showcase. You can't say first annual. It's kind of bad grammar, I guess, but people know what you mean. But we're coming. It's our inaugural showcase. We hope to be able to do this every year, and we will be showcasing. Overtime will be there. 247 on 3. We will have national writers. We'll be covering a lot of these young men. For the 15U guys, we'll start kick it off from 2 to 4. We're going to pick our 15U MFTK national team from out of the showcase. Not all the kids who are coming, who we pick, will want to play for us. They play for the other teams, and that's okay. But we want them to come out and compete. That's the main goal. Forget us with the 7-on-7. Come out and learn how to compete in front of a good audience. Then shifting down, we have our big man 5-on-5 challenge, which we will pick our 5-on-5 big man team from out of that. And that's going to be from 3 to 5. And then from 5 to 7, we got the competition of all competitions. We got the 18U guys. We're picking 2 teams from out of that. There is no A team. There is no B team. There is a team. And, we will interchange some of the guys based on availability for some of the tournaments. But basically, they're all going to the same exact tournaments. Same weekends. The only thing that's different is if we do get into the 7s, only one team will be able to get into the 7s. But we're going to create the machine with really, really good players, marketing, hype, teach these guys how to be pros. When I tell people what the vision is, they're just like, oh, okay, I see it. I want to get behind it. I want to be able to do certain things. Right now, we're really trying to push. Hopefully, we get this. If we could get Edward Waters, it's going to take it to a whole nother level. And then we'll be able to bring recruiting in-house conjunction. Anybody who knows me, I'm all about community, and FAMU is and will always be my HBC. I am a rattler. I was born on that campus, but EWU is the HBCU and the biggest, the only football school we have in the city from a college perspective. So if I could do things to make that place hype and get more people there, I am all for it. There are some really good athletes that are in the city that are being overlooked. We already have Central State, which is a Division II in Ohio, that will be coming to check things out. Savannah State will be coming to check things out. If we get Edward Waters, I'm going to try to get Albany State as well. Basically, we're getting this is an opportunity to get college looks. And I think we're going to try to incorporate a 2026 late showcase so that you'll be able to come out there and you'll be able to talent. If you think you're good, hey, this is not me. I don't get anything for you getting there. It's your skills. And if you're good enough, then hey, maybe you'll get a good workout if nothing else. So that's what this is about, raising awareness. At the end of the day, all you can control is winning your reps. And this is the Win Your Reps MFTK Spartan Showcase. If you would like to sponsor a kid for the MFTK Showcase, it's $25. You can cash out $MFTK36, or it just put that as for the showcase, or you go to MFTKFoundation.com and you can you can sponsor some kids to the showcase, because believe it or not, $25 is a lot for some kids. Even more so moving into the holiday season and some of the other different things that we have going on with the MFTK Foundation. And this right here is the big deal. So once I get this shit under control, and if I can get Barron to call me, I'm going to try to get Barron on the show to talk about Pylon and what Pylon is doing and how we're TK and Den Media Group, because I want to be able to stream and do some stuff with that. I will say this. The kids I know 5 kids that I'm going to take, and they are MFTK Spartans, but I'm trying to take a whole team there. 15 kids. It's about $20,000 to get that done. Obviously, I did it before January 23rd, 2005, but it's a lot that goes into that. If nothing else, I would love the opportunity to be able to take a lot of kids to Tokyo. I know Miles is excited about it, and he's going to basically give us an itinerary of things that we have to see. But once I get Barron to tell me exactly what all is going into it, I'll be able to pub it more and just let them know that this is what we're doing. We're behind Pylon. Battle sponsors us. That's our gear. So we're battling Pylon teams. And we're going to take kids to the next level together.
And then you also got the gifts for nice grades, nice gifts for nice grades for this holiday season. So James, just tell us a little bit more about this post you made.
So we couldn't get the sound working, but so we got 100 kids in tally that we're going to give stuff to. And here's the thing: if you go give, we could give more. That's how it works. So the 100 kids in Tallahassee are good. We got that. I'll be doing that in Tallahassee on December 17th, I believe. So I'm in and out. So don't be asking me if I'm hanging out. I'm literally, I got a lot of moving. I got a lot of stuff to get done before December 20th. And really, December 19th is now something we just added to it. So if you don't know by now, Long Branch Elementary School is an important school to me in Jacksonville, out east. A lot of people talk about, oh, they for the hood. A lot of people talk about these different things, but don't do nothing for it. The principal hit me up, and we're going to work with them. We're going to work to get every kid at Long Branch Elementary School a gift. That is my goal. It's 275 kids at 25. You do the math; it's like $6,000 something dollars. Right now, we are we're a quarter. I know this. We're a quarter of the way. We are a quarter of where we need to get to that goal. With the contribution, so it's $25 per kid. You know, you actually, and shout out to Devin. Devin donated $60. I appreciate that, and I hate to say that. So that's basically Devin gave two gifts. We had Issa gave $50, so she gave two gifts. Ariana, Miss Ariana, who's who's a professor at FAMU School of Journalism, she gave $50. So again, you don't think it's a lot, but each time I'm gonna start updating, like, because we got to get this by next Friday. We have to get this by next Friday. But here's what I'm going to do. There's a red Ford F450 and a big ass red sleigh with some gifts. I'm gonna have a red MFTK jumpsuit and a Santa Claus hat, and I'm coming out there on the dang thing. We're gonna televise it. We're gonna do all this stuff. But that's December 20th, man. We really want to be able to get these kids some good news. I mean, imagine thinking your school is going to close that's in your neighborhood that means a lot to you, and then you got that mentality that this is it, and then you get to kick the can down the road. But we have 18 months to figure out how to keep this school open. Really, not even 18 months, really a year. But we got to, how we start doing that is by showing what we can do for these kids in the school, and then what happens is we create a blueprint that keeps butts in seats. There's 70 kids away from where they need to be at, but 400 is the max capacity of the school, and they're at 275. So we really need 130. But if we get half of that, the school should be saved and it should be good. It's a great school. It's a B school it is blackety black, and that doesn't mean anything. But I'm just saying, a lot of people put that stereotype out there that Black kids don't learn, and Black professors or Black teachers aren't as good as other ones. You know, hey, the ice ain't colder on the side of town that my son lives on. It's cold on all sides of town. So we got to just make sure we show these neighborhood kids that they can have some neighborhood pride, and that's just what we want to do with that. So that's enough of the emotional shit. Let's get to the nitty gritty and talking about what we need to talk about.
Lane Kiffin at FSU, something many people who were surprised to hear. Logan B. Robinson's tweet he made 2 days ago regarding, yes, the former Ole Miss coach and a possible connection and stop at the FSU Seminoles. So, I'm going to share this with you all and get into the post. According to Logan B. Robinson, quote, Lane Kiffin was decided between staying at Ole Miss, going to LSU, or Florida, or joining FSU, which was, quote, making a stealth move to poach Kiffin, unquote, per ESPN's Mark Schlabach. Florida State Athletic Director Michael Alford was also wooing Kiffin behind the scenes, sources familiar with the search told ESPN. Unquote. James, did you know about this alleged communication, this alleged relationship that Logan has posted and has gone viral with?
Miles, do you have available the clip of Michael Alford when he was on the show? And
I
what
can
we discussed about you don't have to, like, the way basically you know what you have guys that you want.
check for it. It should
I
be
think
on
you
the
just did a
Instagram.
reel Yeah, it should be an IG reel that I know you can even just replay that, but I think he even went and said you don't. It's not like you have to do. Like he even told you that you do covert things. We were winning at the time when he said that. We had just come fresh off of the Alabama win, but like no shit. Like nobody. People think that people think you have to. You just call somebody and then they interview. It's a lot of steps that go into the hiring and firing process. And one of the consistent things on this show, one of the consistent things that I will always say, you cannot make emotional decisions for these type of things because it's going to put you in a situation where you're worse off in the long term. You have a contract situation, yes. You also, just because you fire somebody early, you don't fire early unless you truly know you can land the deal. Kiffin was supposed to be a slam dunk to Florida. Penn State was supposed to automatically already know who they were getting. Now look at where Penn State is in a situation where their program is depleted. It might not rebound for another decade and a half. Would you rather be Penn State or be where you're at right now? And that's not an indictment against Mike Norvell. I will never indict Mike Norvell. I will never say Mike Norvell is the best fit. I will say what makes sense in the time. So while people want to cry and bitch and moan and be right and do all these other different things on social media, I don't. I just think you have to have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, all you're doing is throwing a temper tantrum. And that's not how business works. That's why some people are in the position that they are in because that's how they operate in life. And they think that if I raise enough noise and I yell enough and I scream and I bloviate and I do all these different things, that something's going to happen and something's going to change. And that's just not the way of the world. And if you have a plan and you don't think it's going to work and you know you can't get him, the best move is to wait and see and not react emotionally. So Kiffin, I do know that they courted Kiffin. Not necessarily Mike calling him because the agents do a lot of this stuff. And who is the agent that talks to everybody? And that's Jimmy Sexton. So Jimmy Sexton has the relationships. We have this. Let's listen to see if this makes sense. We've talked about on this show before because everybody listens to the pencil necks, but nobody wants to listen to the athletes who are doing things the right way. Go ahead, play that, mouse. Hopefully the sound works. Can't hear it.
I might send it to you, Jaden, see if you can.
But yeah, so somebody put in the thing, fan stands for fanatic for a reason exactly. Um, you know, there's, Montre puts, we fire Mike early. Somebody going to call the logo to tradition or so and so. If we had the infrastructure, I would agree with that because Florida had a pretty good class without having a coach in place until recently, and I do think that their hire is good, but they made the exact same hire, like to the T. Private school, Louisiana, not private school, Louisiana school, G5 guy, all of these different things. And now their hire for the Georgia Tech offensive coordinator works. He's not bad. I like that hire. The DC is kind of against what that guy said, and the fact, I guess we'll probably talk about that a little bit. But the whole gist of it is that there's a lot of things that you can fix at Florida State in transition to make it more attractive to others. And we are not falling behind UF and Miami. Like it is just not. Jaden, have you seen the did you see the tweet? I retweeted. I didn't look at the what you put out, but Bud Elliott had a very interesting tweet that he put out yesterday, and it talked about recruiting. And when you look at Miami is very good at. Miami isn't getting any quarterbacks in their development. They're getting 1 year rentals. They don't have any faith in the quarterbacks that they have right now. In fact, they're going to the transfer portal again. And Bud Elliott, let me see if I pull it up myself. Bud Elliott talked about where the differences were in the number one recruiting class and the number 2 recruiting class as recently as a decade ago. Gotta forgive me, I've been tweeting. Pat Ford, no. Oh, Florida, Penn State did get one recruit. I can't find what I wanted to find. We're still fixing that audio, Miles?
Let me check. I sent it in Jaden's email. If it doesn't work, if you can pull it up on yours. See if it works.
All right, let's see. It was working.
Oh, you had it?
No, Jaden, when he pushed, I heard Mike's voice.
Initial impressions upon what the stadium looks like and even how it worked out for the first game.
When you run the comparables, we were $9 million behind the average Big Ten team and $13 million behind the average SEC team in revenue per stadium. The reason being they had invested in their stadium, invested in their opportunities and different experiences for the fan bases that they had. We had in 20 years. Then you look at the cost of running the stadium, deferred maintenance you were spending on a 77-year-old stadium now, of keeping it up intact. Every year we would have to go back and secure parts of the stadium with our engineers to make sure that it was suitable for fans to come in there and sit on it, and it would be safe. And so you run the cost analysis, and it was just time.
What were the reasons why we went down that path, and what are?
Yeah, that's cool. It's not a problem.
I thought we only had one with him.
He came in and he talked about coaching searches, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I thought that was the only real. That was my fault.
No, that's all good. Bud Elliott tweeted out, and Bud Elliott is canceling his FSU pod because he's really, really good in the recruit as a voice in the recruiting world. And this is why I respect what he says. A decade ago, 85 points in the 247 recruiting rankings was the gap between the number 1 class and the number 16 class. So that means you had 85 points was the difference. Today, 85 points is the gap between the number 1 recruiting class and the number 32 recruiting class. 50 was the gap between the 1st and the 8th. Now 50 is the gap between the 1st and the 16th. So when people say we're getting outpaced in recruiting, we are 50 points, but we're less than 50 points because we had the 14th ranked recruiting class. We're less than 50 points away from number 1. With all of the different things. Again, it's not emotional. These are the numbers. He said he can't recruit. He doesn't recruit high school kids. He brought in 32 high school kids. It's a lot of different things that are going in, but forget that. Let's update the off-field staff. They're looking for a GM. Somebody put Martin Mayhew. Man, I would love Martin Mayhew to come in, but I think I would say he wouldn't come, but I never thought Dave would go to Florida because what you're in the NFL, man. Jaden, doesn't it feel different going to the combine, going to the combine? Like, did you feel like all of the guys were there, they were working hard, but it was like a relaxed professional environment? What were your thoughts on just being up there at the combine, being around NFL brass?
Definitely felt like the best of the best, but also relaxed, like you said as well. Kind of best of both worlds.
And I had a coach of mine, John Lilly, who was our recruiting coordinator at Florida State and the tight ends coach, who also went to Georgia, went to North Carolina, but coached for the Rams. When he went to coach for the Rams, he was like, for the first time in my life, I got the summers off. I have a piece of the time. I have a time where I am not allowed to work at all because we already have our guys. We don't have to worry about keeping them. They're on their contract. They're under this. We know the different things that are going on. And so like to leave that to come to the chaotic world of what it's like being a college professor and coming back and coaching high school. Like in college, like they choose your class. So there's a little bit more things that are doing that. But like in high school, you don't get to pick who you teach. You got to teach whatever comes through that door. And that's kind of the case with that. But when I look at the things that are going on at Florida State, it's not just Lane Kiffin. It was James Franklin was looked at. There was a lot of guys were looked at, and it just didn't. The fits just weren't where they felt comfortable making the move. But I do know this. I will read you my source. This is what my source says. Hold on. Sorry. Where is I gotta find out what my source said. But basically, here's how it goes. If you don't believe that Mike Alford was looking at is always auditing the program, I got some beachfront property in Nebraska to sell you. The man is always looking for stuff. He's looking for opportunities to be able to grow and be able to advance the program. Yes, and then a lot of people are mad that oh, he sucks. We need to fire Mike Alford too, while being mad that he's being interviewed or being in consideration for interviews for other jobs. You don't know what you sound like. You're like fire the guy that everybody wants. Okay. Okay. My woman's ugly, but I'm mad that she's cheating on me. That's basically what you're saying. Like clearly she's got something. Like again, I don't think people. Again, this is why I say write it down and read it out loud. Write it down and read it out loud. Here's what I do know. They brought in a consulting firm to make sure that to help not make the decision, but help them navigate the decisions so that they know how to. In a consulting firm decided that more structural changes are needed, and here's how you go about those different things. And it's who Oklahoma used. Oklahoma was in this situation, and Oklahoma literally made a 180 and is now in the college football playoff. Almost won the SEC. But they went. If you go back and look at who they brought in Jim Nagy, who was over the Senior Bowl, and Jim Nagy literally took the Reese's Senior Bowl to a low-level All-Star game because they had fell off to bringing it back, and he knows how to look at who the top talent is. So not only is he a really good GM and knows the landscape of what college football is and who the best players are, because that's what he has been doing for the last few years. He also has a good pulse on what it should look like when you go and you're looking at the high school players. So that's what you have right there. They're going in. They made similar recommendations. They're going to make structural changes. And that's the goal for what they want to be able to do. Mike Alford wanted to fire it, wanted to probably make a move after Stanford. But it's not just the AD's job. It's the AD, it's the boosters, and it's a lot of other different things. They did a lot of stuff, and they realized that the coaches pool had doo-doo in it and pee in it. It just wasn't. And I did that without knowing. I told y'all that without having sources. The coaching pool just wasn't really that good when you really think about it. Unless you're getting James Franklin, it doesn't change anything for your 2026 season. And what people want to do is they want to win right now at Florida State. It's $100 million investment that you're going to have to make, and you don't want to keep making these $100 million investments every 3 to 4 fucking years. if you, I get it when it's not our money, we say that. But the crazy part is a lot of us are bloviating and making these decisions, and we're not even buying season tickets. And then they don't even really understand how the season ticket stuff works. Because like people are like, we're not going to go to the games. Baby, the tickets are already bought. That is not going to help anything besides just make kids not want to come here. Like, again, Nebraska will always be relevant because at the end of the day, Nebraska will always put butts in seats, regardless. Hold on. Sorry. Got parents hitting me up about 707. But anyway, so that's just but yeah, but like a lot of times, message boards we'll have. I'm not going to pick on the other people's message boards because I want our message boards to be that lit. When fifth quarter was popping, it was all kinds of stuff in there that was lit, and I was doing all kinds of different things. But like, I just think at a certain point we got to take a step back, and you can't just look at this from the emotional standpoint. You got to look at it from the business standpoint. So those are my opinions. I would definitely get my AD back on here after things kind of maybe cool off a little bit. Yeah, that's it. My man, A-Rock. A-Rock said, how is Jamie French doing? I grabbed it out. I got Jamie's doing well. I won't. Jamie's Jamie. I think once he figures it out, he's going to be dynamic wherever he's at. So I'm going to try to get my guys back on when they come home for Christmas and just like do some stuff. That'd be some good Discord content, right? Put it in the Discord first, and then release it to Gen Pop. Like get some of the college guys back to just talk about how their first year was. Maybe put it as a YouTube thing where you can either only my subscribers and then where I put it at can listen to it. We'll figure that out. But go on to the next thing, Jaden. Unless somebody has FSU questions. If you have another FSU question that you want me to answer, be a colored or put it in the super chat, and then we'll jump. Give me a super chat. We'll jump to that.
Somebody in the chat did mention.
Jesus Christ, Darren Heitner. Oh God, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Some people in the chat mentioned Tommy Castellanos' denial in his waiver request, and so I did a quick search and found this out. And you did mention a name, James, Darren Heitner, and he is actually representing QB Tommy Castellanos in his fight for an additional year of eligibility after the NCAA denied his waiver request. So Tommy's 2022 participation exceeded the 30% threshold by just one postseason game. It was a conference championship where he played only because of circumstances beyond his control, including injuries and opt-outs. Just weeks after the participation, the NCAA issued a blanket waiver allowing future players in his exact situation to maintain their redshirt status. Players today can participate in 4 regular season games plus a conference championship without losing eligibility. Tommy played in a conference championship game and is being penalized for the timing. Considering the postseason exception that now exists, the case demands a fair resolution.
99% of all student athletes go pro in something other than their sport. Like go, hey man. What did Biggie say? Don't be mad. UPS is hiring on the Flavor in Your Ear remix. Like just going about somewhere else, man. You know what? Next week I talk about going to spend 2 weeks in Prague to go coach football, right? Tommy would be my first. Tommy, come play for us in the Czech Republic. I got you, dog. If you don't make it in the NFL, I got a job for you, Dave. I got a job for you, Poppy. Now, you come over there, have a good time, make a little bit of money, do some stuff, man. I don't even know the rules over there yet, but we'll figure that shit out for you. But all jokes aside, I think he's not as bad of a quarterback as what was perpetuated and what was made to believe. But I do not think his I don't think he fits, and I don't think he has the maturity level of what this team currently needs with no real leaders in tow. And we talked a lot about his play against the University of Florida and his thought process, indeed, especially in what he said after that. That he went out with a bang, and he feels like he played his best game. And I thought it was more, and I'm not calling him a selfish person, but his play was selfish because we don't need a quarterback to do those different things. And he didn't attack the middle of the field like he needed to. So we weren't able to see how good LeWayne McCoy could be. He locked in. And a lot of times when you see quarterbacks who scramble all the time and really, truly rely on their legs, it cuts the field in half. So you can't see the full field. It's what makes Patrick Mahomes so good. Patrick Mahomes is a willing runner. He's not a running quarterback. He is always looking to throw, and he has the arm talent to be able to make any throw on the field from any position. We don't have that with TC. And I think you have to understand what you're limited in. And that's not just TC's fault. That's his OC's fault as well. You have to understand what your weaknesses and what your limitations are. And you have to stay away from that. My joke in life is I don't do anything that I'm not good at. I really try to stay away from things that I'm not good at. And I try to outsource and strengthen my weaknesses. That's why I have Brittany. That's why Adrian helps me with the tailgate. Because I'm quick. I'll get all the meals. I'll get the food. I'll get your plates. You ain't gonna have forks. And I'm gonna have baked beans. You ain't gonna have nothing to scoop the stuff up with. I have all the liquor. You just might not have cups. You gotta bring your own BYOC. You know what? That might be a hilarious way to market tailgates. BYOC. Bring your own cup. But it's just certain things that you just have to understand where your limitations are so that you can grow and move forward. But I think if TC did come back, I do think you'll be a little bit better. But I think at a certain point you have to move forward, and you do need to create true competition in the quarterback room. Cigars and no torches, fair enough. And what's crazy is random spoons. A lot of people not gonna understand that. That's why, Miles. That's why it's important for us to have. We'll call it cultural classes. I need my Pilgrim University. We need PU. Wait a minute, Pilgrim. We need to figure out how to make PWI with Pilgrim in it, and then we need Black. But I think if you have your wide receiver, and everybody's talking about we need to upgrade in the quarterback room. That doesn't mean that Brock won't be the guy. That just means we need to have competition in the quarterback room. I think our running back room is fine. You brought the young man in. You have Uzma and you have Sam Singleton. That needs to be your main two. Everybody else needs to get in where they fit in. Your wide receiver room, you have Deuce, you have Boggs, you have LeWayne. And I like the guys you brought in the freshman class. Bring in a couple other cats, and then let's just, let's get better. Let's get better there, right? And then we have what am I missing? Tight end room. I think our tight end room is solid. O-line, it is what it is. I think they're not as bad as what people think. The D-line, I think you get a couple pieces. I really don't think we're as far off as what people believe. I really don't think we're as far off as what people Our linebacker room that's where we need to get an upgrade at. I like the guys we brought in, but we need to get that boy from Arkansas ASAP. That we missed though. We need to get him ASAP, and that will bump our linebacker room up. And then we need to get out of that fucking 3. We either need to get some cold ass. Never mind. That we'll leave our Florida State things for the Mark Rogers show. That would be our Florida State segment. That will be on this channel consistently. A lot of y'all went and listened to the last Mark Rogers, and I appreciate that. We'll get that. Yeah, Tavion Wallace, I believe was his name. We need to get him back. And we do need there are some things we need to do to get a little bit better. But we're not as far off as what people think. But Thomas, we need that. Tommy, we need that 600, 750K. We have to allocate that elsewhere.
Billy Napier is now looking to finalize a 5-year deal to become the next head coach at James Madison, according to ESPN college football senior writer Pete Thamel. So, James, Billy has found a home at James Madison University. What do you think of this hire? And did you hear it through the grapevine before the official release yesterday?
I knew he was going to get a job. I think he might have got an upgrade. And I think, while I don't think Summerall is bad, I think that's the area where he's going to flourish. And he'll probably he could be in the college football playoff consistently every other year. And it's going to look really, really bad because James Madison has the money. They have the recruiting budget. They know how to develop. And he only has to win this conference and be the highest ranked G5. He is playing 4D chess right now. And James Madison, if you looked at the trajectory, Indiana's coach came from there. UCLA's current coach came from there. I like that for him. And he's going to probably carve out a niche where he's going to get this new landscape. What it's going to do is going to create parity by having a bunch of really, really good coaches that did not make it on the P4 level land at the G5 or land at the middle tier schools that don't have the pressure and the expectations that are unrealistic for the even some of the P4 schools like Arkansas. How dare you think you should win a fucking national championship? When the fuck did you win one? But he'll go there. He'll be able to get some. He has the relationships in Florida. I'll send him some cats. I just didn't want to send him nobody at Florida. But he knows some. He knows what it's supposed to look like, and he came from the Saban tree, and I think it's going to work well for him there. I think I firmly believe he'll be top 25. He'll be ranked next year, and Florida won't.
Speaking of Florida, James, Florida is hiring Georgia Tech OC Buster Faulkner. Pete Nakos reports to On3. So, Georgia Tech OC Buster Faulkner is now a Florida Gator. They low-key did him dirty with this picture right here. But anyways, James, you just mentioned that, hey, don't be shocked if James Madison and Billy Napier is ranked while Florida isn't ranked. And this is one of the new coaches who's taken over the reins at Florida. So you think he's off to a, let's just say, unfair start right now? Got some room to work with?
I think he's I think he's got some good coordinators that he's hired. I think it's going to be tough though because it's Georgia Tech. You don't have those expectations, but he was able to work wonders with their quarterback at Georgia Tech and just make him very fun to watch. He was just extremely limited. So we'll see what they do, but it's going to be funny because it's not quite what we did at Florida State. And it might have been like that at Georgia Tech because of what he felt he had. But he does have some very talented young wide receivers. If they're able to keep those guys. But I don't know. I wonder what's Florida's 2026 schedule like. It can't be anywhere near as brutal as what this past one was because Jesus Christ. Like that was the last 2 years and what Billy Napier had to go through, like they hated Florida, that schedule. And he did well the first year, and he didn't do that bad this year. It's just it just didn't end the way they wanted to. So they play long. So they have Florida. Their out of conference schedule is pie, but they have Georgia. Nowhere near as hard as it was last year. You have Georgia and Oklahoma. Missouri is going to be tough. You don't have Tennessee. Auburn new coach, Ole Miss new coach, South Carolina. Oh no, they have Texas at Texas. Yeah, they losing that one. So you got 1, 2, 3. So one, 2. There's 3. Oh my bad, Georgia. I got that. Georgia, Oklahoma, Texas, and then they're going to lose another one. So he's starting with 4 or 5 losses. But I can see that. But they get 8-4 season. I can see an 8-4 season first year for him. I can see a way to get to that. So not a bad, much better than last year's schedule. I can tell you that much. So these coordinators got a tough way to get in there, but good for him.
Coming from another Florida football program, we have USF because USF is expected to hire Ohio State OC Brian Hartline. Guys responsible for getting a lot of dogs drafted into the NFL on the offensive side. So, James, how big is this for the USF football program with somebody of Hartline's stature and career?
USF building an off-field program, off-field campus facility. He understands what it looks like. He's not calling plays. You kind of maybe got Urban Meyer 2.0 right here. So, like, you got a guy that knows how to recruit. He understands how to recruit. Florida at that. He's going to go get some guys that are P4 body types, develop them, and I can see him I can see him being somewhere bigger in the next 3 years, unless South Florida is still in Conference USA, right? They're not Big 12. Only UCF is Big 12, correct?
Correct.
And I'll be honest with you. Let's just say a hypothetical, right? Hypothetically speaking, because a lot of people wanted him. Hold on. This call might be important. Hold up. Yo, I don't have you on speaker, though. I have you on regular phone. I needed to see when you called me out. You're one of the few people who I'll stop what I'm doing to talk to. So what's up? Damn. Wow. Nah. Damn. Wow. That's a bold move. But I'll call you back when I'm done with this. All right. Yep. All right. Shit. Expect some big news. Expect big news sometime today. That's all I can tell you. Keep your eyes tuned. This is why we need a Discord. But yeah, I like UCF coach. I like I like that hire. And in a couple of years, if it's just kind of like mediocre, and Florida State's kind of fluctuated between that 8 and 10 win mark, and we feel like we haven't reached that next level, I can see that. I can see him sliding in to that FSU role and being there comfortably. He just needs some head coaching experience, and that's a great place to be able to get it. He's going to win some games there. He's going to make some good hires. He's going to be able to get some good players.
Let's talk about Penn State. So, Penn State has shifted the focus of its coaching search to Iowa State's Matt Campbell. So, the two parties have been in communication in the last 24 hours. This post was made yesterday at around 7:30 p.m. But before we dive into your opinion on this potential head coaching candidate for Penn State, let's talk about some of the underlying things associated with Penn State. One of that being its estimated earnings for coaches associated with Penn State search. So On3 reported this with the caption, Penn State search has netted other coaches an estimated $370.8 million in extension money. So shout out to Penn State for getting those other coaches paid at their new respective universities. And James always mentions James Franklin is an elite recruiter, and On3 explains why. So Penn State has fallen outside the top 100 in the Rivals industry team recruiting rankings with just 2 commits remaining. James Franklin has flipped 10 plus Penn State recruits, and Virginia Tech currently ranks 25th. This post was made on December 3rd, 2025 as well. And also, you have this post right here, courtesy of Ian Purdy. Penn State is slated to sign 0 recruits tomorrow on early National Signing Day. This was made on December 2nd. Unless Penn State signs someone in the late signing period, they could become the first P4 class ever to have no one sign. So the closest thing Ian could find was SMU and Washington with 10 enrollees. But giving all of you guys as background information for the question right here, James, what do you think about the Penn State focus on Iowa State's head coach? Or excuse me, on this Iowa State coach. Sorry.
Well, when you're on strike 12, you focus on everybody. I think I'm on their short list of people. Like they have no plan. I'm gonna tell you what a plan. Here's what you want to know where I think they're gonna go, and would it be a great hire that can really fix this? He's not a bad one because he's able to take mid and make it into something. Watch the ACC championship. Watch the ACC championship. If Manny Diaz, regardless, I wouldn't be shocked if they go down and get Manny Diaz. Manny Diaz is a good coach. He got Duke into the ACC championship, won his conference games. He understands Penn State. He's been there. He's coached there. He understands the landscape, knows people there. Would probably not would retire there. Defensive-minded coach, easier to fix things when you're a defensive-minded coach and you get an offensive-minded coach to become a part of you. I think that might be I think it could almost work out for them. It just hurts recruiting. So you got to find a guy that knows how to coach with marginal recruits, and I think that's kind of where they're kind of at right now. Sports Market, is that what dropped? Is that on social media now, or where did you hear that? I'm not going to say that because I just need to know where you heard that or where you saw that. As far as Matt Campbell, Matt Campbell would be a good hire from an X's and O's perspective, but I don't know why he would make that move right now. Oh, well then, yeah, that was the news that I just got. Jaden, go see if Jaden or Miles, check 247 Sports Twitter. Because I was told not to say that. Pete Nako's dropped it. But yeah, Pat Surtain was fired. That is the call I got.
I think it's on 3 now.
Yeah, Pete Nichols is on 3. That is the call that I got right there. So that is a wild wildfire. But do you see why? Like this is now again. Everybody right here watching the show. Normally, what I used to do with fifth quarter is we would say big game had it first. Y'all saw the call. I was told not to do something, and I did not do it. I did not do it. I was like, I will not say anything. I would not say anything. But that's crazy that I got the call right before it. That means everybody else got. So again, do you see why they don't let them? But first off, before we get into the firing, right? Before we get into the firing, let's just talk about why they don't trust media. It happened, and then I got a call. Don't say anything, but then you call somebody else, and then boom, they say something. Now, not saying he did that, but other people did. But I expected him to leave. I didn't expect him to be fired. But I will say this, as I joke, that secondary had more holes in it than 30-year-old draws this year. He's a good recruiter. It does make sense to why if one guy would have came, I don't think he would have been fired. But I think this is also more of a Tony is going to get his people that speak his language to get into so they can run they have the same synergy. But I wouldn't have that's not the fire that's not the first fire. That's not the first fire I would have had. But as I like Pat. I think Pat's a damn good coach. But I expected Pat to leave to go to the NFL anyway. But that's interesting because Pat knows what it looks like, and that's like I said, that's an interesting firing.
All right, let's look at a go-go gadget connoisseur, and that is Brendan Marion, James, because Brendan Marion is moving on up in the mountains. So Colorado is hiring Sac State head coach Brennan Marion as its next OC. Sources tell On3 Sports the former UNLV OC just wrapped up his first season as an FCS head coach. CBS first reported he was the target. James, the go-go gadget himself, gonna be in those mountains. What are you thinking about Brendan Marion, his cowboy hats, and his new position for the Buffaloes?
Hold on real quick. Let me see. Miles, you got the damn, I gotta have you have to push the button for the voice distorter to work. You gotta unmute yourself if you're talking, Miles.
Yeah, I don't think I can do it for you. I could only do it for mics and voices attached through this mixer.
Oh, damn.
You can have some.
Nah, they don't, man. They don't might know who this is. Hold on, let me see. Can you hear that ring right now?
Yes, we can hear the ring.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So, what were you about to tell me about this thing, real quick? So, just why is this? Why do you make this move? Because this move doesn't make any fucking sense.
So, last year, he basically, when Barry Odom left UNLV, with compliance, the AD basically was like, everyone has to get the fuck out of here because of, remember how they had that issue with the Holy Cross quarterback overpaying him? So that they were actually very in the wrong there. So the AD was like, everyone has to go. It's like, right. So Brennan's best job offer was the Florida State OC.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, why not go to Florida State last year? And
because everyone was like, because Brennan thought Mike was getting fired. Truly, Brennan was like, I don't want to walk in there and Mike get fired. So that was that whole thing, because Brennan was like, Mike's gonna get fired, and I'm gonna be the fucking scapegoat. And honest to God, if Mike doesn't beat Alabama, he probably gets fired.
probably
And I don't think Brennan Marion was beating Alabama.
fair.
So Brennan was like, the Sac State thing was interesting because they said when he was doing the job, when he was interviewing for the job, they said, hey, we're going to be an FBS independent after year one, or we're going to be able to, in the next realignment, we've got enough financial support to basically get to the MAC. So either we'll be in the MAC in a year, or we'll be an FBS independent in a year. And that way you're a Division I head coach. But all you have to do is get through the first year. So they told us, so basically that's why he took the job. Because also, when he took the job, he was letting everyone else kind of nose jobs too. Which is really why when people ask, was Sac State a success, the answer is going to be yes. So he did the job, and like around week 2 or 3, he realized, like, not around week 2 or 3, like before the season, he realized, hey, this is not going to work.
Gotcha.
So they quite literally spent the 2-year budget in 1 year. Like, they have no money for next year because he spent it all this year because he realized they're full of shit. I'm going to be here once. So they really try to win 9 games and just fucking get him a better head coaching job. The problem is he fucked off 3 games and they just weren't winning 2 of them because he was still learning, and like they literally could not throw the football. So Carl is boys with Dion, as you know. And when Dion was like, I need an OC, and he's like, I've got one for you. So that was his way to he got, like, Brennan's getting a raise to go do this.
Okay. Well, hey,
So-
let me tell you something. I'm gonna hit you back, but I just need to get some clarity on that. But that makes more sense. That makes a lot of sense.
And he's bringing half of his support staff to Colorado, and I might go to Colorado too, between you and me. We'll see.
Well, you know, I'll help you out. I like the guy who was out there, who was in that chat. I just ain't heard from him again.
Who?
Whoever went over there to be his like assistant GM. I just can't remember. I can't remember his name.
White kid?
I think he was a black kid, former NFL player or former college player.
I'll go look at the chat and figure out who it was. At Colorado? Or
No, at Sac State.
I'll go look. Trev?
That might be it.
Yeah, he played at USC. Big fella.
I've never met him before. I just know.
I'll send you a picture.
Oh, and your boy Brendan is hilarious, dog.
Brendan Marion?
No, FICO, whatever his name is.
The big sicko? Yeah.
Yeah, that shit that he tweeted out about Diego. Like, yo,
That was funny.
I almost lost it. I was like, that's the only thing I miss about that, is that he was crazy. Like, the big Trumper don't understand anything, but like the motherfucker crazy though. I could have had a drink with him, but nah.
We call him the big sicko. So, but yeah, no. So that's why like it kind of worked, because also Clutch needed someone to be, because he's like the most high profile coaching client they have.
Yeah.
Like, they needed him to be the head coach so they could get everyone they want to rep in the future and everyone they're trying to like get jobs a starter job.
Makes
Which
sense.
is why they tried to send me out there. Like, they offered me a job out there and I said no. Because the pay after taxes was $32,000.
Yeah, that ain't
And
a
I
lot.
was like, I can't go. I was like, Carl, I said, I can't go to Sacramento, California, and be that far away from my whole life and home for $32,000 after taxes. I was like, because I'm going to need help. And my parents right now aren't in a position to help me through this. And he was like, okay. And that's how I got my buddy Dan the job, because I was like, this is the one person who's better than me. You should fucking hire. and they hired him literally within 30 minutes.
Gotcha. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna holler at you and get more intel on
Yeah,
that.
we'll talk. See you.
All right, bro. Yep. Bye. Well, was that good enough explanation? I think we could probably go on. I guess now I understand it. I do think with Juju as the quarterback and some of the other different things that they're able to do, this might actually be the best hire that Deion's made.
You
But
Twitter guys don't deserve that insight. We're gonna find a way to get the whispered phone calls onto straight YouTube. We might have to end the, the Twitter stream just
yeah,
anytime you pick up a phone.
just cut the Twitter stream and
Yeah, you
then
gotta
just
go.
go.
I watched one of y'all go from YouTube to Twitter. I was looking at the numbers. Come on back.
That's funny. All right. Well, cool. We go to the next thing, Jada. That's enough of Brendan. That's the whole Brendan Marion story. Do not make that a short though. You heard me? Just do not make that a short. We do not want that. Like, I mean, that's there. It's canonized, but I don't. Yeah, don't clip that to make it go viral. Not
Thank
that
you
one.
for telling me.
So we have the updated college football Heisman Trophy odds, courtesy of BetMGM. Want to keep you guys on track throughout the season. And Julian Sand is actually leading the Heisman race. He's above Diego Pavia and Fernando Mendoza. Jeremiah Love, is the highest ranked non-QB on this list in terms of Heisman odds. And then you have Jeremiah Smith after him as well. Gunnar Stockton, Jacob Rodriguez, Ty Simpson, Dante Moore, and CJ Carr round out your Heisman frontrunners, courtesy of BetMGM after week 14. So for BetMGM, these are your national championship odds as well. You have Ohio State plus 175 leading the pack. Then you have Indiana behind them with plus 450, Georgia plus 900, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Tech, Bama, Oregon, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and you have Miami and Utah with plus 8,000. So these are your national championship odds, courtesy of BetMGM at this current point in the college football season. So, whew. Ohio State, man, looking like the true championship team that can run and back James. But in order to get to the championship, they need to get through Indiana first in their conference championship. So these are your conference championship games. ACC, Duke versus Virginia Tech. Big Ten, Indiana versus Ohio State. Big 12, BYU versus Texas Tech. The SEC, Georgia versus Bama. American, UNT versus Tulane. Mountain West, UNLV versus Boise State. You got the Sun Belt Conference for you right there. You got the USA Conference USA. Then you also have the MAC conference as well. So, James, with these games in mind, we're going to go on Hard Rock Bet and see what teams you are going to be betting on. So, right here, the first game, you actually have Kennesaw State versus Jacksonville State. That's that Conference USA championship game.
That's a tough one because I want to bet on black always, right? But I know the defensive coordinator at Jacksonville State, so and I'm getting plus. I'm going to go with plus. Give me Jacksonville State. No. Is it plus 100? Yeah, I want. Is that wait a minute? Which one is that? Because I can't see it on the screen like I want to. Hold on, blow that bad boy up. Yeah. Give me the plus 110. I want that. I need that. Damn. Jesus Christ. I don't know anything about Troy. I'm gonna go. Give me Troy with the points, but James Madison's gonna win. UNLV plus 175. Straight up. Fighting Dan Mullins. This is a good ass game. North Texas offense, a coordinator of the where's he going to? He's not the one going to UC. Both these coaches are gone. So, um, hmm. I'm gonna go with the over on this one. Give me Mercer if I got to pick. Give me the Mormons. The man turned down Penn State. They put some money. They put a battery behind him. I'm taking the Mormons. I don't want to touch that. My running back is basically one of them is basically going to commit to Miami of Ohio. Give me Miami of Ohio straight up. Isn't Tarleton State the thing they made the movie about, the TV show about? I don't know. Keep going. No, don't care about any of this stuff. Don't care. Hold on. Because I want anarchy. Give me Georgia's gonna win. I don't think they're beating them 2 times in a row. No, give me. I want the money. Give me Alabama. I just want to see what it looks like. I'm gonna go with Virginia, even though I do believe Manny could win. Ohio State's winning this shit. What's 5? That's solid. That's solid. I like that. I'll take that.
That is a parlay for everybody out there looking to bet for this weekend slate of conference championship games. So now let's get into the NFL. We're going to get through this because we did spend decent time talking about college with all the head coaching and coaching switches and changes out there. So we're going to make sure to give you some Jaguars news to start off this NFL segment for you guys. And for all my Jaguars fans out there, this weekend is very important because we are facing our division rivals, the Indianapolis Colts, at 1 p.m. So this is the injury report for the Thursday practices for each team and their respective players. So according to this, left tackle Walker Little and safety Andrew Wingard are the only 2 Jaguars players that did not participate on Thursday's practice. So Walker Little dealing with the concussion and Wingard as well. But Trayvon Walker had limited participation at practice, and Parker Washington also was a limited participant in Thursday's practice. Give you guys some updates on some notable Jaguars players, and Jordan Lewis as well was full participation, was also that on Wednesday as well. So I want to share this with you guys going into the game, and huge congratulations to Logan Cook. He is the Jaguars Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Club winner. Shout out to the legendary Jaguars player on getting this legendary accomplishment. So shout out to Logan Cook, and these are your other nominees for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award for each of the
I bet it's
respective.
nobody who threatened to kill somebody.
Aziz Al-Shaair is on this list, so
Oh, never mind. I apologize.
yeah,
I stand corrected.
Yeah, you got him on this list. Some other notable names on this list: Travis Kelce, Max Crosby, Dicker the Kicker, Bradley Chubb, Hunter Henry, Demario Davis, Quincy Williams, Jordan Mailata, Baker Mayfield, Bobby Wagner, Jeffrey Simmons. Some notable names on this list. And also got Derrick Henry, James King Henry for the Baltimore Ravens. Just wanted to share that with you guys right there as we get into the Colts and Jaguars matchup this Sunday. We're going to actually swing back around to that when we look at the viewing guide for this weekend. But James, we have an NIL topic to discuss in this NFL segment, and it's revolving our boy Jabbo, aka Jameis Winston, because Your favorite Super Bowl correspondent is back. Jameis Winston will join the Fox NFL Kickoff and Fox NFL Sunday shows this week. Coverage starts at 11 a.m. Eastern on Fox since the Giants do have a bye weekend this week. Jameis and I saw Russell Wilson is also getting into their correspondent bag. Middle of the season, but they do have that bye week, and I'm excited to see the clips of Jameis start flooding my timeline on Sunday. Just wanted to share this with all of my NILs out there. And yeah, James, looks like our boy's getting another chance at Spotlight, so it's gonna be great.
He's really good at it. We were talking about that. Me and Freddie were talking about that on the podcast yesterday, and just Jameis is just must see TV. Incredibly interesting to watch. So like, I love it. Like, I don't want to hear Sierra's husband, but I do want to hear Jameis.
Totally agree with you on that one. And James, we got to talk about the Thursday night football matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. America's team face off against the Lions, but the Lions struck the Cowboys. And man, who them boys, man? Who them boys? The Cowboys did lose by 14 points. Almost tried to have a comeback win, but the Detroit Lions managed to squirm away from the Cowboys. So let's take a look at the box score and team stats right now. So Dak Prescott went 31 of 47, threw for 376 yards, had one touchdown on the day, but he did have two interceptions. And he got sacked 5 times, losing 50 yards from getting sacked. Javonte Williams had 67 yards on 17 carries, and he had a rushing touchdown as well. Dak Prescott, 3 carries for 14 yards. And CeeDee Lamb, 6 receptions for 121 yards, but he was ruled out with a concussion during the second half, and he was balling. Ryan Flournoy, 9 receptions, 115 yards, and a receiving touchdown. Jake Ferguson, 5 receptions, 58 yards, but George Pickens didn't have the best of nights. 5 receptions for 37 yards and 9 targets on the day as well. But Jared Goff and company went 25 for 34, 309 yards, and he threw a touchdown on the day. Got sacked 1 time, though. David Montgomery led the Lions in rushing with 6 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown, but Jahmyr Gibbs, he is a human highlight reel and video game. 12 carries, 43 yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns on the day. Jameson Williams led the Lions receiving with 7 receptions for 96 yards. Amon-Ra, he actually came back from an injury he suffered last week, and it definitely surprised the haters and doubters. 6 receptions for 92 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs also had 7 receptions for 77 yards. So Jahmyr Gibbs had more than 100 total scrimmage yards versus the Cowboys as well. And the Cowboys also had a fumble lost on the day, courtesy of Jake Ferguson. So take a look at these team stats right here. The Lions actually had 5 less first downs than the Dallas Cowboys. The Lions went 3 of 8 on converting third downs, while the Cowboys went 6 of 15. The Cowboys are also 2 on 2 on fourth down conversions as well. The Cowboys actually had 9 more total yards than the Detroit Lions, 1 less total drive than them. However, and one of the biggest things in this game was the difference in sacks, 5 compared to 1. And then you also had the Lions having 18 more rush yards than the Cowboys. They both were penalized. The Cowboys 7 for 76, while the Lions were penalized 8 times, losing 50 yards. And the Cowboys had 3 turnovers compared to the Lions 0, with that 1 fumble loss and 2 interceptions thrown. And the Cowboys had actually 3 more minutes of time of possession than the Lions.
It's just unlucky. Sometimes just because it's long top, don't mean it's good top. And the D just couldn't get it done. And Messed me up. Messed up my parlay before it even started.
We want to congratulate Jahmyr Gibbs because he is breaking historical records. So Jahmyr Gibbs has tied Barry Sanders for the most touchdowns scored through 3 seasons in NFL history, as well as tying Sanders for the most touchdowns scored before the age of 24. And he tied Barry Sanders with 47 TDs in the first 3 seasons in the NFL. Whew,
He's
you're
got
in.
more games. He's had
And
2
he
more games.
I think they actually have 4 more games they got this year, James. So
I mean, actually, now that I think about it, he hasn't. He's done it before the season's over. But like I was about to say, if it's 3 years, 3 seasons, they play 17 games now. Barry only played 16.
Damn.
But Barry's better. Barry, you'll never tell me there's a better running back than Barry Sanders. But he also did do it splitting time at running back, so it is impressive.
Right.
Oh man,
Jahmyr Gibbs definitely in some great company with the stat right here. Anytime you can be mentioned with Barry Sanders, always an accomplishment. And they both did it in the Detroit Lions uniform. So definitely great for the city of Detroit. And James, next gen stats, keeping the streets fed with these carry charts. So take a look right here. This is Jahmyr Gibbs' carry chart for the game, courtesy of next gen stats. And Jahmyr Gibbs scored all 3 of his touchdowns against the Cowboys from jumbo personnel sets. Jumbo personnel meaning that the offense has an extra lineman, and it usually signifies a run play, but some teams like that, the extra linemen do a little play action, just to keep them on their toes. But the Lions use jumbo on 36.8% of snaps, their highest rate in a game since 2021, and gained 139 yards from jumbo, the 4th most by any team this season. So the green line indicates 5+ yards gained on the run by Jahmyr Gibbs or a touchdown, and he had 3 touchdowns on the game with only 12 carries and 43 yards. The red lines signify a tackle for loss as well, and the blue circles are the touchdowns. So this is his carry charts, and got to shout out the Lions defense, Aiden Hutchinson in particular. So he forced a season high 10 pressures on Thursday night, including 7 in the fourth quarter. His 39 fourth quarter pressures this season are 10 more than any other player in the NFL. And he leads the league with 75 pressures in total. You can see his chart right here. One last thing from this game. So on 13 coverage matchups against CD Lamb, DJ Reed allowed 5 receptions for 105 yards, the most yards he's allowed to a receiver in a game in his career. On 24 coverage matchups against George Pickens, Reed allowed 2 receptions for 15 yards. So that's just some next gen stats insight for you guys surrounding the Thursday night matchup between the Lions and the Dallas Cowboys, a high volume game for sure between the 2 NFC opponents. So
Aiden got put on his ass a couple plays though. But hey, keep on moving, keep on trucking. Everybody gets got, right?
everybody does get got, and somebody in the NFC is going to get got from this list, James, because these are the NFC wildcard standings. So the Lions' playoff chances are at 55% after their win, while the Cowboys' playoff chances have dropped to 9% with their loss. The Lions, Panthers, and Cowboys are in the hunt, but like I previously just mentioned, according to Fox Sports, the Cowboys' playoff chances have dropped to 9% with their loss. So the NFC wildcard standings are the Seattle Seahawks, the Green Bay Packers, and the San Francisco 49ers at NFC West. It's pretty crucial over there with the LA Rams on top of the NFC West. But you also have the Seahawks and the 49ers all in the same division, all in that wild card spot. So NFC West is pretty tough, I might add. So for any of my NFC fans out there, this is the current playoff picture for you guys. So we're going from one team to another. We talked about the Seahawks, James, but we got to talk about another franchise, another bird franchise, because seems like they're making bird brain decisions, because I don't know if they watched him play in that playoff matchup last year, but they did it, James. They did it. So the Ravens and tight end Mark Andrews reached agreement on a 3-year, $39.3 million extension that includes $26 million guaranteed. The Ravens announced the agreement they reached with Andrews' agent, Justin Schulman, but he's staying in that Baltimore uniform, James. 3 years, 26 guaranteed.
He's a good tight end, but he is the reason why they didn't go to the Super Bowl. So I will say that he's the reason why they lost. But they may get this year because I think the wild card, the AFC is completely in an uproar. So who knows?
Who
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows how it will turn out with the Ravens, and especially with the AFC North season as it progresses. But we will keep you guys updated. And nonetheless, congratulations to Mark Andrews on getting that 3-year extension for you and the Baltimore Ravens. Let's take a dive into the AFC Players of the Month, courtesy of the NFL. These are the players in their respective offensive, defensive, and special teams categories who's been putting their conference on their backs. Start off with the AFC, and this goes to Devon Acham, 495 rush yards, 135 receiving yards, 3 rush touchdowns, and 17 receptions for the month of November. Shout out to you. This should be no surprise for anybody who watches the NFL on Sunday. Myles Garrett, AFC Defensive Player of the Month, 18 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 9 sacks during the month of November, and 2 forced fumbles. Then you got Austin McNamara, the punter for the Jets, 20 punts, average punt of 46.2 yards, 11 inside the 20, and a 64 long yard punt. Shout out to you. And we're going to go on the other side, the NFC, for you guys. Matthew Stafford is the NFC Offensive Player of the Month. He had a 66.7 completion percentage, 1,207 passing yards, 15 TDs, and 115.5 passer rating coming from the LA Rams. Then for your NFC Defensive Player of the Month, you have defensive back Nashawn Wright, 19 tackles, 6 passes defended, 3 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 forced fumble. Lastly, we're going to get on to Jason Myers, the NFC Special Teams Player of the Month, the kicker for the Seahawks. 61 points, 16 of 16 on PATs, and he only missed 1 field goal attempt during this month. He's gone 15 of 16. So those are your players of the month in their respective conferences. So shout out to everybody out there getting their bread up and getting some accolades tacked onto your resume. So, James, let's talk about the games that are happening this weekend in week 14 of the NFL. So, the Lions and the Cowboys face off last night. And on Sunday, these are your slates of games: Seahawks at Falcons, Bengals at Bills, Titans at Browns, Commanders at Vikings, Dolphins at Jets, Saints at Bucks, Colts at the Jaguars at Everbank Stadium, Steelers at Ravens. This is a division matchup right here. Colts and Jaguars division matchup. Saints and Bucks division matchup. Dolphins and Jets division matchup. And let's see, did I miss any? Continuing to move down. Broncos Raiders division matchup. Bears Packers division matchup. Rams Cardinals division matchup. And then you have the Texans and Chiefs. And on Monday, the Eagles and Chargers. So we're going to actually pivot to the Hard Rock betting app to see what parlay James is rocking with. So you actually have on this list right here for your parlays the AFC North Division matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. So what you thinking about this one to kick off your parlay.
Steelers, because I need the Ravens to not make the playoffs. Because I'm looking for the Jags to be in San Francisco so we can have a blast. So give me the Steelers head up. I think that it's a good game. I think the Steelers can pose trouble, but we need them to win. We need them to win their division. So with that, Saints Bucks, I'm not a fool. Buccaneers. No, you put the Saints. Yeah. Commanders Vikings. I'm gonna go with the Commanders. They're playing really good football right now. This one right here has me troubled because I don't want the Bills in the playoffs. The Bengals and Joe Burrow is like playing angry right now. I can see a situation where Joe, I would give me the Bengals because the Bills are all over the place right now. So I know Kai, my baby boy, is going to hate me for going up against his brother, but that's just how I'm feeling. Jags. This is basically for who's going to be. We got to win one of the tough games that are left on the schedule. So, excuse me. We have two of them. So the Colts, and then you have the Broncos. We only need two to get in, but this right here could go a long way. And if you win this game right here, you're still in contention to fight for a bye. Believe it or not, as bad as the Jags have played. I mean, JD, you weren't on the show, but I had to ask myself: am I being too hard on Trevor? Which I don't think I am. But like when you look at the three of the Jaguars' losses, we should have won. And even though some of the wins we've had, we won in spite of Trevor. But it's like, damn, like we're winning with mid at quarterback, which is crazy. The battle of the toilet bowl right here. I think the Titans get another win because I don't think, but it's tough because Myles Garrett is good, but like the Browns are Shadur they might lose that because of Shadur. So I'm gonna go with the Titans. Seahawks, Dolphins, Broncos, Pack. Even though that's going to be a good game, though. But they're battling for the top of their division as well. Rams, they're just better than the Cardinals. My heart says the Texans, but I need them to lose, so I'm going with the Chiefs. And the Eagles. What does $5 get me with a 13-leg parlay? That's good money right there. I'm good with that. That's comfortable. A lot of people get Christmas gifts with that. Why did everybody leave YouTube to go to goddamn Twitter? That's bullshit. Anyways, though, that's my thoughts on that. It's good. Should be some good games though.
According to ESPN Analytics, the Colts have a 55.2% chance to win the game. Jacksonville with a 44.4% chance to win the game. James, I need your final score prediction for the Indianapolis Colts versus Jacksonville Jaguars matchup. Both teams are 8-4. Indianapolis Colts, though, are 2-3 while away, and the Jaguars are 4-2 while playing at home this season.
You need me to give a score prediction?
Yeah.
Shit. 27-17, the Jaguars. I think and that's going to be high scoring. I think that the Colts are going to try to run the ball a lot on us. But I think the Jags are going to do enough to be able to win. And I think their defense is going to play a lot tighter than what we've seen other teams going in. They're going to try to put Daniel Jones in some passing situations. It's going to be wet. It's like a 95% chance of rain. And they just don't have. He's not mobile right now. With that fibula being kind of messed up. So I just believe that the Jags are. I think the Jags are going to win. That's just how I have to believe that to be fun. Jags going to the playoffs. I do know this much.
Jaguars into the playoffs. Definitely want that happen. definitely want to be the leaders of the AFC South, and we can get one step closer to that goal if we can beat the Colts at home on Sunday. So make sure you guys pop out in the city if you are going to that Jags game for sure. So we are at the Big Games BS portion of the show where we bring the scope of the conversation outside the typical football world. And we have our BS or Bustin' Food review segment to take a stab at. And today we have a sweet treat for you all in which James and hopefully you guys will be reviewing. So if it's bussin', you're going to say it's bussin'. If it's BS, you wouldn't want to try this food, you're going to put BS in the chat as well. So James is actually going to give his food opinion on it first, and then we need you guys in the chat to start flooding with your guys. But we actually have some Nutella rolls for you guys. So let's see how these things turn out.
Oh, this is the same lady who made the chocolate cinnamon rolls. Well, I'm saying lady, maybe it was a dude. I don't know. His hands look very dainty. Nah, I just nah. It's not my cup of tea. And I think it's the way that they're baking. Like it just when he split it apart, when they split it apart, it just still looks dry. So like I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna give a BS on that one right there. That's just my opinion. Y'all may like chocolate, and I like chocolate cake, but that doesn't look moist enough for me.
Finish off the show today, James, to kick off this weekend. We actually have a YC Wyland segment to show everybody tuning into our video. And James, I know you definitely find this video funny because some Oregon players decided to create a little faction of their own, the CCU. So if you guys aren't familiar with the CCU, they're looking to put their brand on the biggest of baddest screens. And it's great that they're starting off at Nike HQ Oregon to kick off this new phenomenon. But without further ado, let them take it away from here.
Oh, it's muted. This one needs deserve sound.
Let me just fix this right quick, guys. My bad. Should be working right now.
Um, we've been thinking about this for a while. Being that DT got on the team, so we've kind of been brewing, and his brother helped us out with making a shirt. So, it's fitting that we work today.
I don't have a shirt, by the way.
Hey, we're gonna get Dante a shirt, but it's CCU. It's abbreviation for Caucasian Collision Unit. We've been thinking about this for a while. Being that DT got on the team, so we've kind of been brewing, and his brother helped us out with making a shirt. So, it's fitting that we work today.
Love it, man. I think in today's society, there's so much. Like there are real issues out here. We need more. We need more humor. Um, to quote the the gay thespian from Baltimore from Brooklyn by way of Baltimore that claimed the West Coast. Don't blame me. I was given this world. I didn't make it. And race is a social construct, and there are funny things that all of us do that are tropes. And I think if anything is done with taste, it is comedy. When it's offensive, it's when it's really mean spirited. We used to call it there's descriptors. When you look at the football field, does anybody notice that the football field is not it's not reflective of the way that America is built. If that's a good way to say it. There's a lot. It's basically a flip. America is, I think, like, well, it's becoming less and less Caucasian and more minority as we speak, which is why a lot of the vitriol and it's more scary than it is innovative. But when you look at it, it's mainly brown on that football field, and when you see somebody non-brown make plays, it stands out. And it's funny. It's humorous. It's why sports is beautiful, because you are truly respected for the most part by your peers based on the merit of how you perform. And to be able to make fun and like do these different things, man, like a Caucasian collision unit. We all know white boys are crash outs on the football field. That's what we expect you. Just like when you play pickup. JD, you hoop? You play pickup basketball a little bit? I think Miles, you do. Some of y'all, like when you see the white boy, you're not expecting him to be the dunker, right? You guys say, I know he got a technical wet 3-pointer. Like I know that shit. I know that motherfucker. And it's okay. So when you see one coming in and dunking on people, it's like, ooh, white boy, nice. And so the Caucasian collision unit, I love it, man. I think it's an amazing thing, and I'm so glad that they're doing it, and everybody laughs at it. And if you're offended by it, you're probably offended by it because you're racist and you want to say shit that you feel like you just can't say. But like, and that's kind of goes to the face of it. What if I would have said that? No, man, this shit was funny. Like they didn't say crack a collision unit, which even then, that would have been even more hilarious if they would have said that. Like, shit, that would have been great actually. And then you know what they could have finished it with? We can say it, you can't. And I would have cried laughing. Like if they were like, we can't give you the shirt because we can say it. I'd have been in tears laughing so hard if they would have done that. But I like it. I'll get a shirt. Just like I want to know a Kaniga shirt. Because we all know a Kaniga. Like I think there are things that those aren't the things that are separating us. The things that are separating us is the dumb tropes that make people believe you actually cannot do something. So we got to figure out where we can get those shirts. I can tell you that much. I want one for Christmas. Anybody trying to give me a Christmas gift? I want a Caucasian collision unit shirt to represent the cause.
That's all I have for today, James. So what are your last words to take the chat through this weekend?
We got Christmas coming up, guys. I'm about to start. I got to go pull out my Christmas shirts and sweaters and stuff and start doing those things. If we have some more coaches changes, don't be surprised if I do an impromptu show here, just getting on here, just letting you guys vent, getting my Fraser Crane mode. Got a lot of cool stuff happening. Again, we'll try to get the Discord links to everybody to be able to join and get in. So that you can continue, so we can continue to provide you really good content, maybe a little more organized. I think that might make us more organized that way, to where I can put different shows on the channel. Hopefully, some of the things with me and Freddie's podcast that we did yesterday will start dropping this week while he has other things going up. Told a lot of good jokes, a lot of good stuff, a lot of good things that went on with that. Make sure if you want to watch some good high school football, tune in to the Stolen Streams. We will have William M. Raines High School playing Sarasota Booker here on the channel, so that you can watch some good high school football with TJ Cole. Please also consider what we're doing at Long Branch Elementary School in my nice gifts for nice grades foundation thing. You can hit that the QR code if you want to donate. It takes you to the MFTK Foundation website. You can just go click that donate now button, and you can just give whatever. It's $25 per gift. You can give $5, you can give 10, whatever it is that you give. There is no number that is too small in that regard. So please check out the channels. Please check out the different things that we're chopping up. And outside of that, man, I really appreciate everybody for chopping it up with me, man. We will see you guys next time.